Well, welcome back to Grandpa's Plumbers Podcast. I've been kind of preoccupied when I'm not plumbing, doing uploading some video content. And all of a sudden, I stopped at the side of the road to, how dry I am, to check all my plumbing tools because I was going to go into this abandoned house that the new owners wanted me to go in there and fix up the plumbing. So I had to make sure I had my tweezers, had my wrench, my, all the other important, plumber tools of the trade. So I got out and I looked with my binoculars, and I thought I saw on the second floor a poltergeist waving at me. And I was like, what the hell is that? So as I went in, I thought maybe it was the owner or something. Creepy little thing up there. And then when I walked in, had the keys, I thought I heard a voice, some unseen voice said, Kinsey, Kinsey, Kinsey. I was thinking, what the hell is a Kinsey? So I walked in and said, hello, anybody here? This is Grandpa, the plumber. I'm here to get the poop down the pipeline. So I went about my job and I fixed all the plumbing, cleared up all the pipes, heard something upstairs. And I was thinking, I'm on the top floor. There's nothing upstairs. So that kind of freaked me out, Usually, Grandpa's got his act together. But this house was newly bought. It was abandoned, and they're fixing it up, and so I was doing the plumbing. And so I got my binoculars, and I looked out the window, and I saw my car, and some creepy little poltergeist was jacking my car and driving away. So, that was okay. That was a car rental. That's alright. I notified the car rental and said a freaky little poltergeist just jacked the car rental. They said, oh, it's okay. We got them trackers on the vehicle. And I said, okay, we'll get it. We won't charge you. And I said, thanks, I appreciate that. And so I kind of sat down, went downstairs, put on they already had a lot of the new owners' merchandise come in. They had a big screen TV, the power was on, put on some LOL podcast, and watched. And I was thinking, no, you can't fire Kate. It's like, there's a reason why there's LOL podcast. And so I was arguing with the TV. And I was like, you can't fire Kate. And who is this other girl? Not the one that Kate usually sits next to, but who's this other girl they got there? And so Grandpa got confused, and I don't like when Grandpa, it reminds me of the time I was in a nursing home fixing the plumbing of an ex-girlfriend. She was like 99% in a coma, and 1% her eyes were wide open looking at me. And I was like, damn girl, you haven't changed. And you're still creepy. Still freaking me out. And she was cussing me out. And then she said, come closer. And I said, okay. And I went closer, and she slapped me across the face. Oh my gosh, that girl still has some pain to her slap. Well, anyway, I fixed the plumbing, built the nursing home, and I left. Remind me of the time back in the old days. I was taking a nap by the river. All of a sudden, woke up, then I went back to sleep. And that reminded me of a time just a while ago getting ready for this Grandpa's Plumbing podcast. So, you may ask, why doesn't Grandpa appear in front of the camera? Well, Grandpa doesn't have much knowledge of technology. All I know is turn on the webcam and start talking. So I'm kind of new at this. I've been doing this podcast since 2006, and I get 0 views. So I'm doing a good job. I'm probably top rated. I'm probably like, of all the plumbers that have a podcast, I'm probably doing great. I don't know. I'm not an expert in all this technology. I don't know, all the YouTube algorithms and all the technology and statistics, and all I know is I turn on the webcam and I'm just talking about plumbing. I wouldn't mind doing President Trump's plumbing. I'm sure I'll need some big tweezers for that pile of poop. But anyway, let's not talk about what's going on inside the country. Gone to hell, people. Gone to hell. But anyway, this has been Grandpa's Plumbing or Plumbers Podcast, and I'm getting tired. I'm putting my hand to my head and I'm tapping out. I'm tired. I'm gonna take a nap. It's been a long day. I just finished doing a job. Plumbing. Ugh. Let me take a swig of water. I hope it's water. Well, good night, people. Wake me in the morning, and I'll see you later.